Hello everyone and welcome to the Road America road course in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin for 20 laps in the Sargento 200 for the Crown Royal Truck Series. Of course, this track being long means we'll have more of a pre-race on this opening pace lap, but just want to come in, talk about a few things real quick. Fuel window is about 7 to 8 laps here. It's a 4-mile road course, very long track. Riley Spurley, Alex Peters on the front row, sure to put on a show, but we're hoping for a clean race. We saw a pretty clean one in the Cup race earlier this season. We'll see what they do this time. But let's go ahead and go down trackside for the commands to fire the engines here at the Crown Royal Truck Series, the Sargento 200, coming right at you after the command.
Drivers, start your engines!
With that, the engines are fired and we're ready to roll off here at the Sargento 200. Going to be a 20-lap race here at Road America. Riley Spurley, Alex Peters on pole. Spurley, your defending winner of this race. He won last season for TSR. It's going to be a tricky road course, a technical road course in the Crown Royal Truck Series. Much different than Mosport and Watkins Glen. Watkins Glen is chaos incarnate. Mosport a bit of a middle ground in between Road America and Watkins Glen. So, first of 3 road courses this season. All of them come within the next, I think, couple months of racing. Real close together here. But we'll see how it is. Here's Canada Corner as they come through. This is a big passing opportunity with Turn 5 and the Carousel. Those two specifically being named Calamity Corner here in the Crown Royal Truck Series, Sundrop Cup Series, any series that comes to Road America. Turn 5, a hard braking zone. You could end up in the back of someone if you go too far. And of course, the Carousel, you push those boundaries, push that gas a little too hard, you could end up off the track. But we have 40 drivers for 20 laps here at Road America. A 4-mile road course, a long track. It's going to be a long race. And this is the road course race that's really an endurance, with Watkins Glen being just survive. This track makes it very different. It's going to be hard to pass once you get strung out. You got to hit your marks right. You got to make it around this track in one piece. Under the Bucyrus Bridge, coming up the hill, coming to the green flag. It's Spurley versus Alex Peters up front. And we are racing. The Sargento 200 is live. Green flags in the air. We're racing at Road America. Down into 1, Alex Peters trying to outbrake Spurley because he knows that outside line can carry a ton of momentum coming off of the corner. That's why the outside line is up there for the race leader. Down into turn 1, and he's going to clear. You see Spurley clears right there. Onjak's going to drop back a little bit, but the race leader jumps into the lead. That's Riley Spurley pulling away from Alex Peters. And now these two are going to fight down through under the Sargento Bridge and into turn 5. Calamity Corner, the toughest corner on the track to hit, especially on starts and restarts. You're just trying to hit a braking zone and you don't want to hit anyone else, because if you do, it could destroy your entire day. We saw that before. The Cup Series last season, a major factor, but this year looks like everyone's going to get through at least cleanly for this opening lap. As one truck way off, that's Gatlin Downey running real wide under the Corvette Bridge. Spurley out in front, Peters second, Rogers third, and Onjak fourth. They've all spread out as Aiden Smith is going to take that 5th spot away from Gatlin Downey. Preston Emmons looking for the 7th spot away from Antoine Smith. Started this race in 10th, and now he's looking for 6th on Gatlin Downey. Just keep it on track, Preston, and you could have a great day today in that 71. Is Sladek back to 9th, I think, and that's Antoine Smith back there in 10th. William Duncan, I saw him dive into turn 5, picked up a few spots. Now he's fighting Matthew Brown. Duncan, a driver who skipped the Truck Series last season, is, oh man, Matthew Brown really lost it, and that's a major factor with the kink. You cannot go too wide through it, and if you're on the inside, you're just going to have to give way, and it's going to cost you. Now Brown has lost 3 spots to Turner, Hagan, and Vargas back there. But William Duncan decided not to run trucks full-time, went straight to Cup with Ditech after just not being good at trucks. He's had a bad career in trucks so far on the opening lap, picked up a couple spots, and now putting himself closer to the top 10 as Riley Spurley will lead lap number 1 as they cross under the Bucyrus Bridge once again, and lap 1 completed here at Road America. Spurley, Peters, Rogers, Onjak, and Aiden Smith, your top 5. All a bit spread out. We'll see if the 28 can check out. We'll see if anyone can catch him. Zach Rogers here in 3rd, already tucking himself in to a nice spot. Has never won an NSDCA race, much less a CRTS race. This is his first season. He's a Rookie of the Year campaign, as noted by the yellow stripes on the back. having a good day today. He is only one top 10 on the season, hoping to improve that today with his possible first top 5 Crown Royal Truck Series finish of his career. He wants to get up here, wants to win a race like his teammate Matthew Eaves has done twice this season. Alex Peters dove it in behind Spurleytube, and we're going to go ahead and hold the camera here. Once again, a very action-packed corner on the track. You see Duncan's already picked up another spot on Patrick Smith and Matt Sladek there. Eli Bright all over the back of McShane. Might have got a piece of her getting down there. Look at Tyler Jones, sends it right into the RHR 52, and Tyler Jones is going to lose all that time now. Picked up a few spots. He loses a ton of time. 78's going to drop back. No caution for it. You see at the back, Nicky Morris, Tommy Herdstand fighting. They are 3 wide coming through the kettle bottoms here. 63 and 90. That's Reed and Young. And there's Sam Picard in the 52. Got a top 10 finish in the Cup race this season. Really survived his way through it for RHR. He's now has a bit of damage to the left side of that truck. Here you see Cobbs back there. Tricky part of the course right here is the carousel. If you walk it too wide, you could end up in the sand. You might, though, have a chance to save it as you go around, but it's really hard to save it once you get off course here at Road America. This track really is a one-groove racetrack, and you got to send it in. If you're not in that groove, you're going to lose a ton of time, possibly, depending on where you are. But out in front, all Spurleytube now with Zach Rogers hunting Alex Peters and Aiden Smith starting to hunt Peter Onjak back there. Preston Emmons up to 7th. William Duncan up to 9th. So that puts all 4 SBR trucks. They right now sit 5th, 8th, 9th, and 10th with a fantastic drive here. And, of course, the SBR affiliated team for this weekend, Tommy Herdstand, is in the HBP 06. They're just happy to be in the show more than less. But William Duncan started out great, started out with a bang. That 82 truck, he started 15th. He's already up into the 9th position. That's a gain of 6 in the first 2 laps. So this 82 truck having a great time right now out in front. But out in front is Riley Spurleytube. Is now starting to pull away a bit further from the rest of his rivals. You see the gap back there to Alex Peters, Zach Rogers, Onjak, and Aiden Smith. This track definitely gets more spread out. Much more spread out racing than tracks like Watkins Glen, where really Watkins Glen is just a chain of drivers in the draft the entire way. Gatlin Downey really just overcooked it into that corner there into turn 5. Zach Rogers was all over the back of Peters. Doesn't look like he's going to hang on. This is a technical road course. You got to slam through those gears. Alex Peters is about to slam in the wall back there in that 45. You got to be masterful on the gears. You got to hope the transmission holds up because you're slamming gears left and right, going from 4th gear down to 2nd to 1st even for some of these slower corners. And Spurleytube getting real wide there, and that's what you got to worry about. Look at him onto the grass, just keeping it on the track. Do not go off. No matter where you are, the carousel can bite anyone. It bit Zachary DeLello earlier this season in the Cup race. It cost him a chance at the race win in that 57 car for Monster Motorsports in the Cup race. Spurleytube, even though he's out in front, it's not a done deal. You can make one mistake, and it could cost you your entire race, your entire day here at Road Americas. Matt Sladek all over the back of Duncan. The SBR guys working together. Hopefully they'll be clean with each other. Matt Sladek, a big road course ringer here. And as always, when you come to Road America, you just got to think back to a few years ago when he had a shot at winning this race in the number 30 truck, and it went away from him at the end as he bit the carousel. And as we said, it's a main problem. Matt Sladek sideways coming off the corner. Oh my gosh, I thought he was about to go around there in the 0. But he shows that he has race-winning pace in the Truck Series. He almost won that Road America race. If he kept it on track, he would have beat Logan Cloud. But if he keeps it on track today, I think he's getting a top 10 finish, maybe even a top 5. That 0 truck, bad fast, and especially for a team like SBR, it's going to be up in the front. But Riley Spurleytube starting to be caught by Alex Peters ever so slightly with Zach Rogers right behind him. Onjak and Aiden Smith, your top 5. Alex Peters is the last driver to win for Zachary Racing. They have no wins in the Cup Series as of yet. And they also have not won a Truck Series race since Alex Peters' last win last season. Logan Bradley has not won in the 57, and he's also struggling this year. 21st in points, was up fighting for a championship fight as Daniel Kobza is on pit road. Looks like that might be a scheduled stop for the 44 team, which is interesting. There's the 57 of Logan Bradley there, as we were talking about. He's fallen through the points. He and Jesse Turner started out this season fighting for the Crown Royal 300 victory. Both of them now starting to drop almost outside of the top 20 for Turner. But the 57, 21st in the point standings as Matthew Eves runs it a bit wide. There's the 52 truck. I think they pit, and it looks like on our reports, yes, they did. So the 52 team pit. Don't know if they took tires or not, but him and Daniel Cobbs are both at the back. Cobbs' truck has not been handling well all weekend. He qualified 31st. It's a struggle today for the Dirt King and Daniel Cobbs. Looking a bit further back, some of the back markers fighting. There's Colton Lane in the 27. This has been a disappointing year for him at North Border Motorsports, thinking that a Mountain Dew Custom Series champ, he might be able to contend for the chase this year. He sits 23rd in points, so even with a win, he'd still have to do some work there in that 27 truck. There's Alex Fletcher. Zachary Fitzwater, 26th, could be his last attempt at Road America. Ethan Head in the 89. Looking all the way up, there's Hagan. Hagan's starting to drop back in that 25. He entered this race 15th in points. He's now losing a spot to Stephen Wallace Jr. Looks like to Matthew Eves as well. So that 25 truck not handling too well here at Road America. He's dropped to 16th. Matthew Brown also dropped back to 14th. He's hoping for a good day. Christian Vargas has gained up a few spots. Patrick Smith as well. The SBR guys fighting together. And it looks like it's all Riley Spurleytube out in front. 5 laps into this one here. The Sargento 200 has been clean and green for all of them. We'll go ahead, take a quick commercial break. Bring you guys back to the action of Road America. Most likely for pit stops in a lap or two. It'll sure to be an exciting event. Riley Spurleytube out in front over Alex Peters, Zach Rogers, Peter Onjak, and Aiden Smith. Back live here at Road America as Vince Freeze just ran into the back of Ryan Butcher down into turn 5. This track Road America has really worked on this track, trying to give these drivers as much grip as possible in trouble corners. But still, you still got to hit those marks and make sure you don't hit them, and that's what Vince Freeze did into that corner. Some heavy front-end damage to the North Border Motorsports number 60, who was fighting for a wild card spot this season after his upset win at Auto Club. Meanwhile, Zach Rogers made a move into turn 5. It did not stick on Alex Peters, but Riley Spurleytube has continued to put down fast lap after fast lap, trying to pull away from Peters and Zach Rogers before pit stops. And we'll see this time by probably starts to open that fuel window for the first round of pit stops. Caution is out. I see the caution, the pit road closed flag, and we are under caution, so pit stops won't matter. You see Kobza and Picard, they lost a ton of time. We'll see if they come in again. Obviously, they're going to have to take a pit stop, though, and we'll see who it could have been. Is there anyone on pit road that got towed back? No. So that's interesting. Someone went around. I'm not sure who, because it looks like everyone's pretty much in the order that they have been in. And Vince Freeze couldn't come to pit road, so that's a blessing for Freeze in the 60, unless a piece of debris came off the 60. Maybe that's why they called it. But Riley Spurleytube's out in front over Peters, Rogers, Onjak, and Smith. That really has not changed in the last few laps, but this will be big. Pit stops is a big opportunity for drivers to pick up spots. We'll see if anyone has a better pit stop than Spurleytube, if he can hang out up front, because clean air is king at Road America. We'll go ahead, get a quick replay, see what happened, bring you back for pit stops, and then bring you back to the green flag here at the Sargento 200. And Antoine Smith, right before we do that, the 00 pulls out a line. Brake issue on the 00, so I think it's good that he pulled out a line there. That shouldn't really slow him down, so he should be able to keep pace, make it back to pit road, just pulling out a line so everyone knows he does indeed have an issue. So that's going to cost him a bit, but again, this is a good thing this is on a caution, because if those brakes failed anywhere else on track, I don't even want to know what would happen to that 00 team, because that'd be a hard hit no matter where you are. But without any further surprises, we'll go ahead and get a quick replay on your screen right now. First incident today is a simple one. You get down into turn 5, cooked it a little too hard. Dylan Young right into the back of the 27 of Colton Lane. Under caution for the first time with just a little spin down here in turn number 5. Back live here at Road America as pit stops are going to be underway at the end of this pace lap. And that's going to be pretty much the whole field. You're coming on in, 4 tires and fuel. Maybe the only ones that can stay out, the 44 and 52. We'll see if they indeed do. Way at the back. It's going to be a little bit for them to get down there, though. But that's the whole field coming on in, and that's most likely what the key is 4 tires and fuel is the king right here. You've ran 7 laps pretty much at pace. That's the end of the fuel window, so definitely you got to get fuel in the truck. Tires is up to you, but I'd say 4 tires now maybe could open up something later on in the event, but should be a 4-tire call here. Go down to your pit crew and hope that they get you set up good. So you see the tires go up on everyone. The left sides get pulled up there. Left side tires could be a strategy, could be a valid strategy. Looks like a bit slow on the tires. No, Zach Rogers is going for 2 tires in the 9. And Rogers is going to be the first one out. William Duncan might have as well. He just picked up a ton of spots there. So some alternate strategies being played here. This is a very close pit exit, though. Hopefully no one ends up into each other. But this just shook up the field. You see Antoine Smith, they got the brake issue solved. They got new brakes on that 00, so he drops back a ton. But there is some alternate strategy. Daniel Kobza stayed out in that 44 truck. Looks like the other one, the 52, did come in. So there's some alternate strategy being played, and it's going to shake this field up because now Zach Rogers and William Duncan are the top 2 in this event. It looks like over Spurley 2. Well, maybe not over Spurley 2, but Duncan's going to be up here in this fight, and he's going to be 4th for this restart. So we'll get a quick update, see what happened under pit stops. And then we'll bring you guys back to the green flag here at the conclusion of this pace lap here at Road America. Back live here at Road America, the Sargento 200. Daniel Kobza stays out. Last came in a couple laps ago, around lap 4 or 5, so he can probably make it to lap 12 before having to pit. Everyone else came in under this caution. However, Zach Rogers, Jesse Turner, Matt Sladek, William Duncan, Stephen Wallace Jr., Eli Bright, Matthew Eves, Alex Fletcher, Logan Bradley, Priya McShane, Nikki Morris, Tyler Jones, and Sam Picard. They all took 2 tires. Everyone else took 4. Vince Freeze has taken that truck behind the wall. Looks like the front end damage in that must have punctured the radiator. The car was overheating, spewing water when they lifted up the hood to try to repair it. It was done. So Vince Freeze out of this one, and that's going to put him in a tricky situation. 16th in the point standings after a good run at Pocono. He could lose a ton of time to guys like Aiden Smith, Matt Sladek, Jesse Turner, and Zach Rogers, all inside the top 15 up here as they run. I think Aiden Smith, though, he lost a bit of time under that caution pit stop. No, he's still... So, yeah, all the guys that I just mentioned are inside the top 15. So that could be a big loss to Vince Freeze, who's trying to stay above the cutoff. As well, Logan Bradley, Patrick Smith, Colton Lane. They're a bit further in the back, but... that could still be a big points day for Vince Freeze. He's going to lose out on a ton of points. But it is going to be Daniel Kobza leading us down. Zach Rogers, Riley Spurley, William Duncan. We'll see if the 2-tire call was right for these guys as they're going to form back up and head up the long hill. One of the longest straightaways in the NSDCA. A major elevation change. Probably the biggest elevation change we have in any track of the NSDCA. Daniel Kobza is going to peak the hill, crest the hill, and lead us down. Green flags back in the air, and we're racing once again at Road America. Saw Vargas make a big move. Alex Peters is going to be the one making a big move now, putting William Duncan 3 wide. Peters is going to send it in that 45 to the bottom, licked the stamp and sent it. There's still going to be 3 wide. Spurley 2 pushed out, and Alex Peters is going to jump all the way up to the 3rd position there in that 45 truck. William Duncan holds up in 4th. Gatlin Downey 5th. Spurley 2 back to 6th, so that might be his chance at the race win over. Once you're back in traffic, there's no way you're catching up that many spots as this race goes, unless you got a fast truck. Another big loser I saw, Preston Emmons, lost a ton of time in that 71. Alex Fletcher picked up some spots with that 2-tire call, and we look all the way through the field, making sure everyone's pretty clean, and now we got to take a look down here because this could be a big move. Alex Fletcher 3 wide on the outside of Emmons and Jose Perez, but it looks like everyone's going to enter through turn 5 fairly cleanly so far. Daniel Kobza out in front, though, trying to pull away from Zach Rogers in that 9, and Rogers trying to hang on. Those 2 tires could be good for now. He's going to send it in on the 44. Could be good for now, but maybe a couple more laps. Those right sides, because everyone took left side who took 2 tires. Those right sides are going to be cooking here soon for those trucks that have ran probably now. Possibly you can make it here. You pit on lap 8. You can make it to lap 16. So 16 laps on those right sides is going to be kind of rough, especially trying to make it through the carousel turn 5 in those heavy braking zones and technical corners. Zach Rogers now chasing down Daniel Kobza. These are 2 of your Rookie of the Year candidates this season. in the 44 and 9. I think it is Daniel Cobbs. I'm pretty sure leading the point standings. He's fighting Antoine Smith right now, at least. So I think it's those two on the top of the Rookie of the Year charts so far as Rogers swings it wide. Alex Peters in third. He's the first one that took 4 tires. Could be charging through. I think Spurleytube's actually trying to make a move on Gatlin Downey here. Runs it a bit wide. I think he's going to lose that time. Matt Sladek all over the back of the 28 as they go up the hill. There's Onjack. There's Stephen Wallace Jr. Aiden Smith now starting to bring himself back through the grid. And there's the rest of the field. You see all spread out as Herdsand is all the way in the grass. Looks like that 06 really overshot the corner. But you see just after one lap at this track, and now the back half of the grid, as you'll see when it updates here, is now already 17 seconds behind. You lost about 13 seconds in between this lap, just, worrying about where you are on track. And that's why it's so good to be in clean air. You don't have to, slow down and risk having some bad lap times. You see 207 for Kobza, and at the back it's 217, 218. 2 trucks are off the grass. That's Anderson Reed and Zachary Fitzwater. I think the 59, he's going to be trapped in the sand. He's at the back, so they can tow him back out, but that 59... heartbreaking to say for Ford Performance Racing. He might be done. He tried to throw it in reverse to get out. They're going to tow him back anyway. And that's pretty much going to be the end of the run for Zachary Fitzwater there. He might be able to get back out, but he's definitely going to be a lap down or more. So he can take advantage of a possible wave around or a free pass as Zach Rogers, there he goes, off into the sand. And I don't think he's saving it that time. He's into the sand trap and out of this one. Will they call a caution for it? Looks like something's wrong. A flat tire on the 06. Must have been from his off-road excursion. The 9's still in the sand. It looks like someone else go off. Looked like more sand was kicked up. Sad to say today won't be a first career win for Zach Rogers, but Alex Peters wants to win. He is all over the back of Kobza, who's trying for his first career win, and a big gain by the 45. So we got a couple things to take a look at here next time we can. You see Spurleytube is in an absolute dogfight with the 19. It looks like Cobbs is bringing it in this time, so there he is at the end of his run. That's going to hand the lead over now to Alex Peters in the race lead over William Duncan second, Spurleytube, Downey, and Matt Sladek, your top 5. And as I said, if Sladek can keep that truck clean, he could have a top 5 run. And now he is for that Miami University number 0 truck. Heartbreaking for Zach Rogers. This was the day he was going to get his first top 5. This was the day he was going to have a good day and, run well, because he is a road course guy. Likes those much more than some of the ovals we go to, and it just went out away from him, and that's why you cannot push too hard through the carousel, and that's why nothing is insured here at Road America, because turn 5 you could really just screw it up, go right off the course or right into someone, and you could be out of the race like Vince Freeze, or you could be out of the race from going wide at the carousel, pushing just a little too hard like Zach Rogers. So that adds to the unpredictability here. I think every season you see someone go off in the carousel, and a lot of times it is an experienced driver as well. You saw Casey Mears in the Cup Series go off. You saw 3 guys in the Cup Series at that one point all go off at the same time. Spurleytube is going to send it under Duncan big time with those 4 fresh Goodyears under that 28. Oh my god, what a send by Spurleytube. What a drive there by that 28. Oh my gosh. And a great job by Duncan seeing that in his mirror, having help from the spotters and making sure he did not cut down too early, let the 28 have it, because there was no way he was going to be able to defend that. Now he has a couple other guys behind him, the 19 on those 4 fresh Goodyears. Matt Sladek's actually only on 2. It looks like that truck's handling pretty well for a 2-tire call. The 97 also on 4 fresh tires. So you got a mixed bag of that strategy here. But that could be seeing. You saw how slow Duncan was kind of taking these corners. Those right sides might be cooking now under the trucks of these 2-tire call drivers as they run. But it is Alex Peters out in front. You see Fitzwater, they're still trying to clean that truck up and get him back out. So that's his day is definitely done in the 59. He's going to go 2 laps down now, and I don't know if we're going to see 2 laps. 2 more cautions, I should say, in this event. Looking back through, Eves going after Preston Emmons. Taking just a quick look through the field. Matthew Brown has dropped like a rock. He took the 4-tire call, but I think his pit stop was real bad. He's dropped now outside of the top 20. See, Nicky Morris took the 2-tire call, picked him up a few spots. He was battling for last a while ago. And Antoine Smith had that brake issue early on. Not going to win this race, but starting to work his way back through. Looks like the brakes pretty good on that. I'm not sure. Santiago Gutierrez in his debut was about to take it 3 wide there. There you see Henson. Did the 06 make it back around? Yes, he did. So there is Herdstan. He got those 4 fresh tires, or got that flat tire fixed. So he's at the back pretty far behind. As well, you see Cobbs is back out on track, pacing around now. But Alex Peters out in front now, 2.3 over Riley Spurley-Tube. Then you got William Duncan back at third. He's kind of left Gatlin Downey, Matt Sladek a little bit. So for these guys with the 2 tires, you got to nurse it around just a few more laps, about 4 more laps until the pit window hits again. Though it is about 1 or 2 more laps until the pit window opens. And Spurley-Tube, I thought, was going wide there. But that'll be the thing. When the pit window opens with about 7 laps to go, 7 or 8 laps to go, that's when you can pit and make it to the end of the race, barring no green-white checkered finishes. There's Duncan. Man, those tires are really starting to cook. Made it wide through the kink. Went real wide through the kink, just making sure there was no issue with them. Now Gatlin Downey's going to look for that 3rd position away as they head into Canada Corner. So I think that 82, he's got to be in damage control now. Do not push the car too much fast. You see Onjak also getting by another 2-tire caller in Matt Sladek. So, whoa, man, they're sideways. Made some contact there and kept it clean, kept it straight. What a drive by both of those guys. And Duncan's off the track again. Sladek also going wide. So that 2-tire call, these guys got to stop pushing it. They cannot push it too hard because you run it wide, you're going to lose more time than if you're just taking it easy through the corners. And at least these guys know they got their spotters, their crew chiefs in their ears. Onjak was going, I thought Duncan was going for a defensive line as Onjak dove to the inside. But for Sladek and Duncan, who just made a couple mistakes through the last few corners, man, Onjak just slammed the door on the 0. You also got Jesse Turner, Aiden Smith pulling up. I didn't notice those before, but do not overcook those tires. You got to make them last a bit longer. And right now, even still, you got that track position, and track position is king. They still have to make a move by you. Just don't defend your position aggressively. Just run your laps and just don't make a mistake, because if you make a mistake like Duncan did a couple times last lap, you might lose a ton of time. We saw that with Joseph Strigley in the Cup race, and that probably is what lost him the race there in that 63 car. But Duncan and Sladek just trying to keep it clean. Jesse Turner, he's also on 2 tires on that 2-tire call. I think he's just holding them a little better than the rest of them. You see Onjak now. Sladek's going for a dive back there. Onjak goes wide to try to not hit him, and he's going to run it off the track. So now we got Matt Sladek, who just picked that spot back up on Onjak, and this is a big fight here from 4th on back. You got 3 guys with the 2-tire call, including Turner. You got 2 guys, Onjak and Aiden Smith, who are tearing through. Aiden, I would have waited a little bit. You're probably not going to be able to make the move into the kink, and that you see there, he's going to lose a ton of time. Going to lose spots now to Stephen Wallace Jr. and Eli Bright, also on those 2-tire strategies. And then you got Patrick Smith on the 4 tires back there. There's Jose Perez, Ryan Butcher. Preston Emmons, it sucks that he lost that track position, but he's still top 15. This 71 truck is doing a great job. I'm proud of that guy who, you know, he didn't have a full-time ride this season, took what he could. He's running pretty good right now in that car. Zachary Fitzwater's back out on track. 39th. He is 2 laps down. Has to pass Zach Rogers now. Heartbreaking to see for Fitzwater. These are the tracks he had circled on his calendar, but he did DNQ this race last season. Rose Henson, looks like that 23's done, and now we see pit stops, and look at that. Look who it is. It's the 2-tire callers, except for Jose Perez. But 2-tire guys coming down pit road, so maybe that's the end of the tire life, but now they come in here, and they are going to have enough time to take that fuel only, fuel it up in the car. Well, not fuel only. Take the fuel up the car. They get back out there. They can make it to the end of the race, barring no green-white checkered finish. And that's a majority, actually. Majority of this group is drivers who took 2 tires under that last caution. A handful of them, the 48. Oh, Eves also has some front-end damage, so he must have missed his braking point sometime. Maybe that's what happened with Henson. The 47 struggling on pit road for Turner. A slow pit stop on the 47 truck. They're not going to hammer down the 48. There's McShane, so McShane already came in. Herdsan also came in. I don't know if he's going to have enough to make it to the end, but now majority of those two-tire drivers came in last time. You see Daniel Cobbs is going to be leading this. He does not have enough to make it to the end. He came in on lap 10. The fuel window's maybe 8 laps if you can stretch it. So this 44, he's got to pray for a caution once everyone else pits. But now William Duncan leads those two-tire guys. They all took their 4, so they have the tires that they'll be on to the end of this race. We'll see if the leaders will come in this time. Alex Peters, Riley Spurleytube, the two out in front pacing this race. And that's a fun thing about a Green Flag Road America. You see a lot of pit strategy that could be the factor in choosing the race winner here, especially with pit stops being key. You don't see many tracks in the Truck Series schedule where you have 2 or more scheduled pit stops. And this time, Peters is going to bring it on in. Spurleytube's going to bring it on in. Looks like Gatlin Downey will as well, so we're going to keep the camera right here as you see the field now coming down for what will be their final pit stop. This might be, maybe it's not a scheduled one, maybe this is more of a reactive pit stop to those guys on the 2 tires, and now with everyone coming in, we'll see if anyone stays out, try to get track position, hope for a caution maybe. But there's going to be Colton Lane real wide, but he's going to bring it on in with a wide angle at that last one. It looks like everyone is going to bring their trucks on in down to the attention of their pit crews. And you see Spurleytube, Peters, that's going to be the big factor there. Gatlin Downey also on pit road. But most of those front guys, they had a bit of a gap. And Alex Peters, I think, goes for a 2-tire strategy there in the 45. Spurleytube's also going to go for it. So it looks like the guys that were on 4 tires, the Spurleytube's going to bounce off the pit wall. It looks like the guys that went for 4 Fitzwater went on an excursion into the dirt, but it looks like the guys that went for 4 tires under that first caution are going to go for 2 here, which is going to gain them a ton of time. Now you see Duncan's actually past Cobbs as Cobbs is going to make some contact with Aiden Smith here. This is a dangerous pit exit. And Hagan and Antoine were about to go 3 wide with Alex Fletcher back there. It's a dangerous pit exit, but I think a good portion of these guys went for 2 tires instead of 4. And that is pretty interesting. Now, the question is, those guys will be running about 12 laps on their I believe it was right sides. I saw the majority of those guys took left sides. So now William Duncan on the 4 fresh ones. Can he get up there and pick up a ton of time? I don't know if he's going to win this race. Alex Peters is gone with Spurleytube, Downey, and Onjack in front of him. But William Duncan now has the freshest tires. The highest ones with the 4 fresh tires on the course. Cobbs's are old. He also has is running out of fuel. There you see Patrick Smith has Matt Sladek all over the back of him. So this just shuffled the field up again. And some of these crew chiefs going real crazy with it. I enjoy that. I enjoy the strategy here. As you see Rose Henson, that team still repairing that truck. But now Alex Peters off to the races over Riley Spurleytube and trying to get... DeLello couldn't win the cup race, but he's trying to get DeLello's team into victory lane here at Road America. And it is all Alex Peters out in front, 15 of 20 complete. Spurleytube second, Downey third, Onjack fourth, William Duncan fifth. We're going to take a very quick commercial break and bring you guys back to the action here at the conclusion of the Sargento 200. Alex Peters leading Spurleytube over by about 2.5 seconds here at the Sargento 200. Back live here at Road America, coming to the conclusion. The Sargento 200, just about 5 laps away from the end of it. Pit strategy under that last round of green flag pit stops shakes this field up. A bunch of guys who went for 2 tires under the first caution go for their 4 here, but a lot of the guys, all of them who took 4 tires under the last caution, took 2 on this time. So now, William Duncan on those 4 fresh tires is the one with the highest running driver with those 4 fresh ones. All 4 drivers in front of him have older left side or older right side tires than they do left sides. But the question is, does the 82? I don't know. I do not think he has enough time to make it up there to Alex Peters. You see the gap; it's all the way down through that sweeping section, and he's just coming into the kink now while Peters is in Canada corner. So it's a big gap. About 10 seconds. You're not making up that much time in this closing laps. But if a caution does come out, we go to a green, white, checkered scenario. That could be the key for Duncan to gain all his time back. But it's all Alex Peters out in front, and he has pulled away from Spurleytube these last few laps. Up to 4.5 seconds last time. Probably going to be more this time. And Alex Peters, you know, 4.5-second lead. You just got to bring it home at this point. Just keep it clean, keep it on track, take these corners carefully, especially with those older right sides that could upset the balance of your car for any of these top 4 guys. Give a shout out though to Gatlin Downey, who's sitting in 3rd for Rockstar Energy Racing, the Granger Ford F-150, running very well today. I'm pretty sure he DNQ'd this race in the Cup Series this season. At least in the trucks, he's having a decent year. Gatlin is fighting for a chase berth this season. He's 14th in points, and this is the day he needs to get some good points in that 19 truck, possibly have a chance at winning a race this year for RER, especially with Chicagoland coming up. RER's done it there before off of that invert, but 7 seconds behind Alex Peters ain't going to be much, though he is slightly catching up on the number 28 of Riley Spurley-Tube. Could be a runner-up finish here for Downey at least, but you never know what can happen in the closing laps here. Want to point out, under the commercial break, we investigated it. Both the 48 and the 23 went off into the sand trap in the carousel and hit the tire barriers. Eves was able to drive his way out. Rose Henson was not. They towed her back, and she has retired the truck from this event this weekend. Now you got William Duncan chasing down Peter Onjak. I don't know. I don't think Duncan might not even have the truck underneath him to get around Onjak, and what he has to do is not overdrive it. This 82 team, he's 5th. Better than he's done his entire Truck Series career at this point. Had some great runs at Pocono, started in the back in both of them, and got his way up to the front, and finished, I think, with 2 top 20s. So Duncan right now, just keep it clean, keep it on track. You might even pick up a few spots here at the end of this one. Aiden Smith in 6th, Matt Sladek 7th. A great day for SBR nonetheless. Antoine Smith with that brake issue earlier. Look at Patrick Smith, though, in the 94. Top 10 run for him. This is what he needs after a bit of a disappointing season. 22nd in points. He's behind right now Logan Bradley, who used to drive the 94 truck. So team bosses probably weren't too happy about that, so he took it right here, took it personally, and said, let's get a top 10 this weekend. Doing a great job there. And his teammate, Stephen Walls Jr. in 10th. So right now, CFRO with a triple top 10 run, and one of them in the top 5. If they can close this out, that'll be a great day for this team. Also, Ryan Butcher trying to take that points lead back away from Eves, though he dropped 31 points behind. Also, Spurley-Tube did not realize that Riley Spurley-Tube is actually 3rd in the standings, but tied with Ryan Butcher for that 2nd position, so those two could be fighting for the points lead as Matthew Eves right now running 34th. That's 1 point total for his day. Austin Johnson had a vicious hit at Texas World last time out over the before the summer break, that Memorial Day weekend. Now here in a beautiful June afternoon here in Road America. He's back. He's running with some casts, or not with some casts, but with some help on his legs after a vicious hit there. So is Eric Monaco. They both had some big hits to the inside wall at Texas World. But looks like Austin Johnson not having too bad of a time, though. He's right now running in the 11th position in the 77 as Jose Perez. Now, I don't want to say anything. We all remember what happened last season, but now Jose Perez, Eli Bright goes dirt tracking back there. Jose Perez is now right behind Austin Johnson between those trucks. Ethan Head, whoa, and Head is out. And that is a bad time for Shepard and a bad time for a caution, because we're going to overtime. Alex Peters' race lead is gone, and Ethan Head's day is done in that 89 truck. And he was running 13th too. A great day for Shepard. Steps out and into Jose Perez. And that sucks for Shepard Racing. But now what you're looking at, the NSDCA will have to take into consideration if they want to do a quickie yellow. If it is, it'd be a 1 lap pace lap because he can't go any faster. And that basically just closed the pits entirely. As we stand right now, these guys pit around lap 14 and 15. Lap 22 is the furthest you can go on this set of tires, on this set of fuel. And we're hearing right now the NSDCA is going to call a quickie yellow, which means we will have 1 lap of pace. This lap right here, they will call it ready down in the carousel. They will determine if the field is stacked back up enough to get going in the carousel. And we're going to have a 2-lap dash here at Road America. And now what you're looking at is if we don't make this lap, because it's a long way, it's 2 minutes. Unlike like Richmond or something, you have a green, white check and you got 20 seconds to stay clean. You got to go 2 laps or 2 minutes around this course, maybe a 2.5 minutes because of the run up to the line. You're slower on that front straightaway. So this is going to be a long time that these guys are hoping to stay clean, because if not, we're going into a second overtime finish, a second green, white checkered. It's going to be a problem. Ethan Head's car torn up in that 89. We'll go ahead, take a quick replay, get you guys right back to the action. We're going to be finishing this one off here at the Sargento 200 in a 2-lap dash at Road America. We watched this live, but Ethan Head, you see Bright in the back going off, but Ethan Head's going to get down into the corner, carry a lot of momentum, fighting for the 12th position, sees Perez go wide. He also goes wide, back into the tire barriers, and the top 15 goes away for Shepherd Racing, the 89 truck. Done here at RA. They come under the Corvette bridge. Due to limitations with the software, I cannot throw a quickie yellow when there's only 2 pace laps, so we had to run the 2 pace laps. That means if a caution comes out, a ton of drivers are screwed. They might even be screwed now. They're going to have to hope and pray they can make it here, and that's mostly the drivers who pit earlier on lap 14. Those being some of the guys that were 2 tires: William Duncan, Matt Sladek, Stephen Wallace Jr., Jesse Turner, Eli Bright. A lot of guys in this top 15. Guys who pit a lap later, a bit more safe. If we do not make it around, remember the NSDCA has a 3 green-white checkered limit to try to ensure a green flag finish. If not, everyone's going to be running out of fuel, and we'll see what kind of crew chiefs are going to gamble and stay out, or how many will actually come in. Alex Peters out in front over Riley Spurleytube, Gatlin Downey, Peter Onjak, William Duncan, Aiden Smith, Matt Sladek, Patrick Smith, Ryan Butcher, Stephen Wallace Jr. The leads, the gaps, the seconds between drivers are gone. They are bumper to bumper, and turn 1, turn 5, the carousel, going to be absolute chaos in this final few laps. Alex Peters is the 45 driver out in front. Gatlin Downey second. Peter Onjak third. Well, no, that's just inherently wrong. I already went through the running order. No matter what, it's going to be a 2-lap dash. The difference here compared to other tracks, it's 2 minutes a lap. 2.5 minutes you guys got to stay clean to get that white flag. At other tracks, super speedways even, it's only a minute if that, and you're not even up to speed the whole time. This is going to be tricky. We're going to have to hope that these guys keep it clean, because if they don't, if some of the guys at the back want to get aggressive and spin everyone out, we're going to have a problem coming around next time by if we have to go back to another caution. I don't see anyone coming into pit this time. If you come into pit this time, you're giving up on your hopes. You're running it out. You got to run it out, because there is no other possibility here for you other than to run it out of fuel and get the tow back. And it'd be a long tow back here. But you're trying to win races. Some of these guys up front are not here for points. They're here for wins, like William Duncan. He rolls off 5th as Peters leads us down. Green flags in the air. And here we go. 2 more laps at Road America. Sladek is going for it all. So is Duncan. They're 3 wide. The SBR guys are going crazy into 1 underneath Onjak. Aiden Smith, now Gatlin Downey clears into 2nd. Downey, for the 6 years he's been in the NSDCA, he has never won an NSDCA race. He's up in 2nd. Spurleytube 3rd. Duncan's clear into 4th. Battle for 5th between Aiden Smith and Peter Onjak. But remember, Duncan has those 4 fresh tires compared to everyone else's 2. Or not to everyone else's, but to other guys up in front of him's 2 tires. Here we go into turn 5. Gatlin Downey not going to break. Riley Spurleytube is not going to break. Right into the back of Downey, trying to make a move. Aiden Smith sideways, literally sideways, getting into the corner as we see the flyby in turn number 5. Does everyone keep it clean? That is one of the 2 biggest parts of the track. We might see some crashes. But Spurleytube, he just threw his race away, throwing it into the back of the 19. Does he have enough? Will that 28 be able to function, make it back around, or did he just lose himself about 35 spots if he has to pit? Alex Peters is wide in that 45. You don't want to go wide in the carousel. That could end your race. Speaking of wide, Duncan's going to go wide. Trying to keep it on track, though. A top 5 run is in the sights of that 82 truck. A top 2 run is in the sights of the 19, but a race win is also there for Gatlin Downey. If he could somehow get by Alex Peters, who has been off to the races since he got into the race lead about 10 laps ago. Coming down into Canada Corner, they're looking for the white flag right here. A couple more corners to go. If Alex Peters takes the white flag, but no one else does, the race is over. It only matters if the leader takes it. And here we go, coming through the final 2 corners. This will determine if anyone is running out of fuel, if anyone is going to pit. We're going to watch Riley Spurleytube. He might be the one coming in with all that front end damage to the 28 truck. He's staying out, but Duncan's in, and the fuel runs out on William Duncan. He has no shot. Neither does Preston Emmons. A majority of drivers at the back. That's a lot of the guys that took 2 tires, came in on lap 14. As you see Young go wide, Anderson Reed go even wider. White flags in the air. That's going to be the race here, and it's Duncan versus Downey versus Peters up front. Spurleytube in third. Onjak and Matt Sladek your top 5, but Matt Sladek also came in with the majority of the guys that pit. Did he save enough fuel under caution to make it back around? That's a ton of drivers down pit road, and Duncan, heartbreaking for the 82, but he's going to lose a ton of spots there. Top 28, it looks like, stayed out, so Duncan's going to lose a top 5 run, and that's just how the trucks have been for him. Spurleytube, even with all that front-end damage, is trying for anything he can to get second back, but I think it's going to be Alex Peters' race. But you got one last part of the course that could take it away. That's the carousel. Everywhere else, we haven't really seen many people dump it on their own. But the carousel could be where it is as Peters runs it wide. You don't have to push, Alex. You do not have to push this 45 truck home. You just have to coast it home at this point. He takes that corner much nicer than he did before. Downey has Onjak and Spurleytube right behind him. And Alex Peters is running. He's running it real wide. Keep it on the track, bud. And he does. He's just running the outer groove. He's going to come out of the corner. Zachary DeLello on the pit box of the 45 for this race. Even though they're at Old Spice, he came to watch him because he knows what it means to try to win at Road America, and he made it through the carousel that time. Looks like Matt Sladek going after Onjak for 4th. Zachary DeLello was unable to capitalize and win this race earlier this season in the Cup Series, but his driver, his protege, Alex Peters for Zachary Racing, carrying a manufacturer on his back, but maybe not so, as Ford is looking for their first 1-2 finish in a truck race since DJ Gibson and Zachary DeLello did it at Pocono. Gatlin Downey back in second, but up the hill, Alex Peters for Zachary Racing is going to take the win in an overtime finish. Alex Peters wins. Gatlin Downey second. Onjak's just going to take third away from Spurleytube, and Aiden Smith steals 5th from Matt Sladek right at the end. The rest of the field going on by. The rest of these guys had enough fuel. Caution is out. On track, someone has gone around. And here comes William Duncan up the road. Logan Bradley looks like the 57 might have stalled out. He doesn't look like he has damage. And William Duncan, the first of the drivers that ran out of fuel, going to finish that 82 in the 24th position. Preston Emmons, Eli Bright also running out of fuel. A handful of other drivers running out of fuel. They pushed it to the end, and Alex Peters for Zachary Racing gets to celebrate in victory lane at the Sargento 200. They tried to get him out of there when we had that late caution, and it's not going to happen. Alex Peters gets to celebrate here at Road America. And what a race we saw. The ticker says 23-25, but the game says complete. And you see now the 98-35, they're running out of fuel. Heartbreaking for guys like William Duncan. Preston Emmons running so good today. But it's Alex Peters in the 45 who gets to celebrate in victory lane and will win this race, the Road America event. Gatlin Downey second. Give a shout out to RER and Ford, a 1-2 finish there. Peter Onjak just sneaking by Spurleytube, gets home third for CFRO, continuing a great season for him. But congratulations to Alex Peters taking home the victory. Well, that was an exciting race here at Road America. Some major strategies at the end. And that's heartbreaking to see. All those lap 14 pitters just tried to make it to the end, and they could not. And they end up running out of fuel right at the end. Some from good positions. But Alex Peters comes home with the victory. Great race for Ford today. And I think that's a bit of salvation for Zachary DeLello, Zachary Racing, who Alex Peters, 9th in the points, is definitely going to jump up over Daniel Kobza, Eric Monaco in the standings and point his way in, but now he holds a chance at a wild card spot. Vince Freeze DNFing this race could be big in his championship hopes, and Jesse Turner is going to pick up that wild card spot there, be the first wild card currently in the 47. Great race today. A lot of strategy came at the end, but Alex Peters, Riley Spurley, too, basically dominated that race themselves, only allowing Daniel Kobza to lead those 2 laps on strategy. 4 trucks out of this one from crashes, but a great race was had here at Road America. The Old Spice Cup race comes up soon. Hope to see you guys there. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time on the NSDCA.